Alright, everybody. Thought I'd make a quick little video here on a couple of subjects, and got my doggy here panting. One thing I wanted to hit on first off was the fact that YouTube, either through incompetence or neglect or actual trying to bury my videos or bury my comments or whatever, which I know they're doing it on other videos. If I comment, a lot of them disappear, and I think that a huge number of people are having that problem as well. But when it's on my own goddamn video, I expect to get notifications when people make a comment on my video. This way, of course I have control over what I allow on there or don't, which, I mean, honestly, I think in all the years, it's been, God, going on 7 years now I've been on YouTube, and I was on it before they got bought up, and all those videos previously got deleted, or they were just gone. My whole channel was gone. So, anyway, I'm not getting any notifications to any of you guys making a comment on my video. And as you know, and people that know me, that I always reply, or at least I give a heart or, a like or whatever. But unfortunately, like I said, I don't know what their rationale is. And I'm sure they don't like my politics. And as you know, this channel has never been political. I've never been about political things. Of course, I'll make a comment here and there about how I feel about certain situations, and for most of my life I've been very apolitical. So anyway, just to let everybody know that, look, I'm not ignoring my channel or anybody making any comments. This is, I'm having to go back and look at every one of my videos to see if anybody made a new comment or anything, and that is kind of hard to do. Not that I have a enormous amount of videos, but I do have a lot. So I just wanted to mention that so nobody gets kind of the idea that oh, now he's too good to answer me or whatever. It's not the case. So moving along, with everything going on here with this egg roll flu and being scammed, being lied to, being, totally, how can I put this? We've been hoodwinked, we've been scammed. This whole thing is turning out, and they're admitting it. I mean, they really don't have any choice. When I remember when Dr. Burks, or the female, came up, and she was called out on the floor about it with, why so many people are dying of a shark attack, and it's all of a sudden the virus thing. And she said, well, there's what we classify dying with the virus or of the virus or from the virus. So right there, it was like 90% of the people dying died of other causes, a heart attack. But they had the virus, even though it was asymptomatic, they died of it, so it got classified as, oh yeah, they died of the virus. So, of course, these doctors and hospitals and all this other crap were had their greedy little hands out, and the more death they could attribute to it, and scare the people into capitulating to their rules and shutting down things, the better it was for them. And look, these people don't care. The people in our government are not working for us. Even Joe Biden said that to that one factory worker when he says, hey, you work for us, and he says, I don't work for you. I mean, that's about as clear as it comes. And this isn't just him. It's it's politicians in general. You know, all the way from your city council on up. They don't consider that they work for the people that pay their paycheck. So anyway, the other thing you know, uh, of course, these riots starting out, and there's a lot of theories as to what and why they started, and it wasn't because of this Floyd guy thing. That's obvious that it's not because of that. I mean, it was a good excuse to get out there and steal shit, uh, create havoc, and I do think that's basically what these Antifa people want, and they've been around for a long, long time. And I think even in Germany, in the colleges and universities, they were active back then. If I'm not mistaken, the Hanover School was all kind of involved in that during the time. I might be wrong about that, but I'm going by living memory here, not factual uh, history that I am looking up that's written down, which half of that you can't believe either. So they keep changing history, and I have to go by what I remember. Um, and the way we see how these politics are running out, and you know, I hate taking a side. I really do. I mean, to be quite honest with you, for the longest time I was an independent voter. Um, well, actually, in my youth, I didn't even vote. I mean, you're talking to a 1%er biker here, and that, of course, retired in that respect as well. And you know, you getting involved in politics just didn't matter much, because they're all out to shove it up your butt dry. And I thought, okay, fine, after a while, it was like, you try to get out of the lifestyle and try to, kind of play the game of society and everything else. So I became a voter, and I went independent. And I saw that a lot of the voting, I wasn't eligible to vote, except for like the presidential and uh, the major voting things. So I thought, all right, I looked at both sides, and this is back when the Republicans were, doing a lot of weird crap with, picking up boys in the men's room, and, they kind of shady. And again, I'm not a religious person, so, a lot of the Republicans were, hyping up the religious and God thing way too much. I mean, they didn't even believe it. It was just pandering. So I said, all right, I'll go and be a Democrat. What the fuck? And I didn't look real heavy into every politician and what they did and so on and so forth. And I think Clinton may have been the first one that I voted for. I might be wrong, but I think he was. And he was a likable guy at the time. Really didn't think that he would have turned out to be what he was. And, I never liked Hillary. I mean, even back then, she just seemed like kind of a witch. And then I went into, uh, who did I vote for after that? I didn't like either Bush, but I can't quite remember. Maybe I didn't vote at all at that point. And then when Obama came up, I remember that, here's a well spoken guy, seems to be intelligent, seems to have the right idea, when he was first running and everything else. And I thought, well, look, he was better than the option at the time. And I don't remember who he was running against the first time. Was it McCain and Palin? um, or Kerry, and I don't remember first or second time who was who, but neither one of them really appealed to me. You know, McCain seemed to be very disingenuous. Palin, although a pretty good-looking woman and everything, didn't seem to have her shit together. She just really didn't. She kind of got made to look a fool, and of course I don't know the woman. She might be very smart, not, but I didn't feel good voting for that, and I didn't feel good about voting for Kerry. He was definitely part of the 1%, the rich uh, Republicans, which kind of turned me off with the Republicans too because they cared more about rich people. The working class go to hell. And that's all of us, by the way, not just, you know, me being a white guy. I'm talking about blacks and, just the working class, the people that are out there doing a fucking job, not worrying about anything else, just trying to make a living, support their family, pay their bills, that kind of thing. Didn't seem the Republicans cared too much about them. Whereas with the socialist attitude the Democrats had, although not nothing compared to what we're in today, but compared to the Republicans, they seem to care more about the working people. At least that was my overview without really doing a lot of checking and digging deep down into it. And this is, before I really got into the internet and started doing searches and stuff. So, by the second Obama election, I was very hesitant to vote for him. But again, he was better than the alternative. Now, towards the end of his second um, term, I started noticing that the left, the Democrats, were really going off the rails, especially with him and his race baiting and provoking violence and not looking into things, and uh, then pushing that what is it, Section 9 on college campuses, or yeah, whatever that was, and Biden pushing the feminist issue like crazy. I was really like embarrassed to have voted for these people. So when the next election came up and I saw all the people that were running, I thought, all right, and they, I really wasn't watching all the debates and everything else. It just came down to, okay, now it's between Hillary and Trump. So I thought to myself, this can't be real, on both sides. That okay, we got this guy Trump, who made these TV shows and everything else, and I really didn't like the guy's attitude. I mean, he's got a real weird way about him, but I really had no respect for Hillary at all. I mean, she crooked as hell what she did in Benghazi, and now look, I'm a military vet too, so that means a lot to me. How she just dismissed all these people getting killed, the soldiers, and then saying that women were most affected, or by wars. Uh, they're hurt the most, some crazy shit like that. And I thought, well, goddamn, I switched parties. I said, all right, I'll go Democrat or Republican. Which, again, to be able to vote in all the elections and everything else is why it went that way. Even though I don't consider myself a Republican, uh, I might consider myself a constitutionalist. Yeah, that could be right. I mean, I'm a naturalized citizen, so I'm, from Germany, originally born and raised there. My family's from there over hundreds of years. So I really, I was kind of torn in between this and that. So anyway, here we are, and I've been listening to Trump, and look, you can say what you will about the guy. You can hate him, you can love him. Uh, he's not an idiot. He's not dumb. Okay, that's one thing I'll say for him. Uh, is he over the top a little bit here and there? Yes. Do I like all of his politics? No. Uh, when I see things like who's he talking about all the time? Every time he gets up there, it's well, we've done this for women, we've done this much for blacks, we've done this much for Hispanics, and we've helped the gay community, we've helped, you know, Martians, land on Earth, and they're making more money, and everybody's in a better shape. And do you notice who they're leaving out, or who he's leaving out in particular? Yeah, it's even like, oh, look what we're doing for the Jewish community, what we're doing for just you name it. And who's he leaving out? Well, gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it's straight white men. We can be oppressed, we can be shit on, we can be ignored. Nobody gives a fuck about us. And yet, everybody else is the victim. Everybody else is being oppressed. Everybody else has nothing, you know. So, what is it? Does does the government think that, well, we don't need to take care of the white guys, the working white guys that are just barely making enough money to bring food in the house, pay their rent or anything else? We don't need to worry about them because, you know what? All those oppressed groups and minorities and everything else, well, they need our help because they're just not smart enough. They're not, uh, driven enough. They don't have the fortitude to get out there and do anything on their own. They need all the help. That seems kind of insulting to me on both sides of it. I mean, you know, uh, if I were black, Hispanic, or whatever, just that insinuation that I am so weak that I can't pull myself up out of whatever shithole I might be in. And I have been in a shithole a couple times. I mean, fucking homeless, uh, getting ready to rob someplace for a loaf of bread, that low. So I've been there, but I've pulled myself up. I did it. It wasn't good, it wasn't fun, a lot of it was really fucked up. But insinuating that these people are weak is an insult, you know, and then pandering to them constantly. And, the Democrats have done this to the minorities, if you want to call them that, uh, forever, to keep them on the stupidity train of voting for them. Well, right now I see no difference really. Yeah, the left's gone off the rails, but the right is become the rhino, what they call a rhino, the Republican in name only. You know, they're they're just pandering too, as is Trump. He's pandering to the lowest common denominator and giving everybody a hand up. So uh, I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for me, you know, um, but it's just very uh, eye-opening to see who it is that they're ignoring, who it is that they really don't care about. So, um, you know, I don't think there's any changing this, and all these politicians are basically the same thing. You know, they're just going at it from a different direction. And the stupidity of these riots and everything, and I've seen many riots, the Liberty City riot down in Florida. I wasn't that far away from there. Of course, I don't get involved in it because of the lifestyle I led, you know. Being within the biker community, if you had community, the biker clubber lifestyle, if you want to call it that, uh, kind of let people fight it out. Let them do their shit. You know, if they come on our doorstep, we'll take care of them very quickly. So, and I still hold that true. Yeah, I'm not gonna get out there, get my face in the middle of something to where some, bunch of, 20-year-old punks are gonna gang up on me, and even if I had 20 guns on me, it just you couldn't win that one. So you stay the fuck away from it. But come to my doorstep, and we'll we'll have a whole new conversation here, and we can escalate it however far you'd like. So where the fuck is this all going? You know, um, I haven't got a clue, but the victim mentality needs to stop. This getting on your knees to other people, to anybody. I don't give a fuck who they are. You know, me for one, I will not get on my knees to anybody. You will have to beat me down, shoot me down, or and then it'll be I'll drop to my knees and on my face and I'll be dead. Okay, that's about the only way I'm going to be on my knees. Or like I made a joke, I'll get on my knee to steady my aim, with a rifle. Um, but look, this whole capitulation to people that want to play the super and ultra victim um, is getting really tiresome. It's been going on for way too long, and basically, it's nothing more than an excuse to to rob places or burn them down. To cause shit. And this is what Antifa's always wanted. They want total anarchy. They don't want a government. They don't want anybody in charge. But understand this: Antifa has rules. Therefore, you're still going to be following rules. And this is where the stupidity comes in. Okay, so you want to get rid of government, police, and everything else that have the rules. And granted, some cops are assholes. Not all of them. I've dealt with both kinds. And I've taken the brunt of some of their abuse too. Quite dramatically. Now, back in the younger days. So, by the way, bikers were pretty much profiled as well, and getting harassed and fucked with by the cops in the 70s was almost a daily or weekly occurrence. So I I understand, but let's not overblow this, right? You deal with it. Uh, However you act and what you do, you're responsible for that, and if you bring that upon yourself, as I guess we did to a degree, uh, just deal with it. Be a be a man or a woman, whatever, and deal with it. Deal with the consequences of your actions. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get out there and I guess I still haven't taken a side here, but I'm certainly not on board with this whole rioting and uh, with this Floyd guy. Yeah, that cop used excessive force. We don't know what happened beforehand. The prosecutor won't release the body cam footage, uh, which by the time he does release it will probably be altered. So we don't know what happened ahead of time. We do know what kind of a criminal record that Floyd had before. Um, okay. Um, so you can imagine that whole arrest didn't go well on both sides. That a reason to burn down people's businesses and everything? Or steal shit? No, no, it isn't. You know, you take care of the people responsible, you do what has to be done, and then go from there. Uh, I don't think it was racially motivated because that, from what I understand, the cop and him worked together as bouncers and everything. And if they got along, and that, this isn't a racial thing, and everything isn't racial. You know, though I do approve of tribalism, and if the new wave of young punks out there that are causing all this shit, if they want segregation, you know, if the Antifa want their little corner of the world, good. Have it, stay there. If the blacks want to be with blacks only, stay there. If you want your whites to be in white areas only, fine, do that. I'm not taking sides here with anybody. I was born white, I had no control over that, but I've known way too many white scumbags as well. So, um, you know, I really can't take a side here. I'm on my own side, you know. Um, and I guess that's the way it's got to be. But then again, maybe because of my age, um, I'm not getting all worked up about it. And this will probably be the only time I'm going to make a video that concerns politics. You know, at this point, I'm not even sure if I even want to vote this year. I mean, I'm just really uh, disenchanted with everything. You know, the Republicans are screaming about the Democrats. The Republicans, of course, don't grow a spine to do anything. The Democrats are race baiting and putting their useful idiots that they'll all throw under the bus. Every one of you on that side are going to be under the bus. And the rich, our politicians and the rich, the Bilderbergs and all that crap, they will be just fine. They they don't give a flying fuck, you know. They got enough to make it through their lives, and that's all they care about. They got more than enough, and those are the people that uh, are fueling this. And you're being lied to from every side. It's just a little overwhelming. But people, you know, America used to be a beautiful country. Yeah, sure, it had its problems. You know, every country does. Every civilization does. And, you know, the victim mentality is what's blowing this up, and we're all getting played. We're getting fucking played. You know, the race baiting. You know, what do I care what some black guy does in a black town if he's running a business and it's, you know, working out for him? And what do I care? You know, I'm I got nothing to do with that shit. You know, I'm concerned about my own life and everything. And if I call somebody to do some work, or if I go into a business, I don't think about, oh, is this guy Spanish? Is he Mexican? Is he black? Is he gay? Is he, you know, whatever. It doesn't work. Is there a product here I want? Is there something that I am in need of and they can provide it? I don't give a fuck what color they are or where they come from. I really don't. So, as long as I get, you know, treated properly and get what I am willing to pay for, it's a business transaction. And a good business transaction should never see, you know, anybody getting equity, you know, uh, like, oh, the only reason that you got hired in this office or whatever was because of affirmative action, but you suck at your goddamn job. So, uh, yeah, okay, I'm not going to do business with you. You know, and it has nothing to do with your color, your race, your point of origin, your anything. If you can't provide me with a service that I need and I'm willing to pay for and do it properly, in other words, have merit to your job and a little pride in what you do, don't look at everybody as an enemy. Not everybody is your enemy. Uh, Now, of course, you know, you could say that, well, yes, the 1%, the rich, and our politicians are the enemy of the people. But keep keep that ring in your nose and follow that cattle in front of you and go right to the slaughterhouse. So anyway, I just felt the need to have this little rant, and you know, again, with the YouTube thing there, and the comments section in my own damn videos, that they're not notifying me. They used to, but they don't anymore. So I guess I'm already on their bottom of the shit list, and not worth their while. So although I get notifications for other channels that I'm on, and whatever comments do go through, if I get a reply on that on a different channel, I do get that. So this is kind of strange, that they've, out of all the millions and millions of videos they get put up, that they got to play this kind of game. And this is why I said it, it might be due to incompetence, which I highly suspect, because YouTube and Google is really big on hiring affirmative action, low quality employees, which is obvious over the years. So it's gotten worse. So just be aware that, guys, I'm not being better than anybody, or whatever you might want to call that. I'm not looking down on anybody, or I'm too good to answer any comments. I'm not. I enjoy communicating in the comments section, interacting with people. And, well, if I don't check it every day or whatever, I just don't get them anymore. So, anyway, that's my rant. It's early in the morning still. I'm still on my cup of coffee here, trying to get into enjoying the day. Florida's getting extremely hot and humid. We've had a lot of rain, which we've needed. But I guess it's turned into another long, rambly video, which I guess it's what I'm known for. So anyway, if anything else comes up, or I got anything interesting to say, all right, Ripley, all right. Ah, yeah, I know I